You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Welcome everyone to your NXT report for Wednesday, September 19th, 2018. I am Rohan Unruh. Follow me on Twitter at Rohan Unruh. If you've downloaded this review from iTunes, do us a favor, give us a big old 5-star review, because we are 5 stars. If you're watching this video review on YouTube, if you like the video, if you think it's cool and entertaining and fun and informative, give us a big old thumbs up. If you think I suck, then just give me a thumbs down. We are kicking off episode number 469. There's an opening package promoting the champion versus champion match. They're saying that it's going to be the biggest match in NXT television history. So they do a really nice job of making this seem really super important. Opening match is Dakota Kai teaming with Dianna Perazzo. They're taking on the team of Lacey Evans and my girl, my favorite, Aaliyah. She's just so wonderful. According to Mauro Ranallo, all 4 of these women are still suspects in the case of who attacked Aleister Black. This particular storyline is getting kind of old. There's been very little progression, so I sure hope this pays off somewhere down the road. I don't get Lacey Evans' gimmick. Her character is supposed to be this empowering woman. Her finisher is called the Woman's Right. And she dresses like a 1940s pinup model, not exactly the image of an empowered independent woman. Dianna and Lacey start. Lacey counters a side headlock into a head scissors, and then gives Dianna the ever effective Greco-Roman noogie to the top of the head, kind of like we all did to our little brothers when we were growing up. Aaliyah comes in and lays in some kicks to Dianna's back. Apparently every time someone kicks someone, according to Mauro, they are sending a message to Dakota Kai as the captain of Team Kick. Yeah, yesterday I was walking down the street on my way to Subway to get some lunch, and I kicked a stone down the sidewalk. Does that mean I'm sending a message to her as well? Dianna attempts her Fujiwara armbar on Lacey, because she is the Fujiwara armbar specialist, as you know. Aaliyah tagged out, but is yanking on Perazzo's hair from the outside, and the ref is giving her the slowest 5 count ever, but if I was the ref, I would let Aaliyah get away with a lot too. There's some quick tags between the heels, working over Dianna's left arm. One day someone is going to break the cardinal pro wrestling rule and start working over the right arm, and I want to see what the agents say when that happens. There's a hot tag to Dakota. There's a series of hard forearms to Aaliyah. Dakota gives her the running kicks in the corner. Dakota attempts an O'Connor roll. Lacey gets the blind tag in the process. Dakota has the visual pin on Aaliyah, and Lacey clocks her with the Women's Right. Dakota slumps over in a heap, and Lacey covers her for the win. They are really protecting Lacey's finish, but it's every single sort of, punch, strike finish that we've ever seen. Dakota continues to struggle, and if they have any plans on elevating her, they need to start rehabbing her like 3 weeks ago. Perazzo is really solid, but at this point she's just kind of there, and they haven't made her special yet. They may have too many women on this brand for any of these women to stand out. They cut to a press scrum where they're interviewing Velveteen Dream, and the interview guy asks him how is he carrying over his momentum after beating EC3 at TakeOver last month. Dream says he's already carried over his momentum on the award-winning WWE Network, so he makes sure to plug that. Interviewer asks about the still ongoing investigation of who attacked Aleister Black, and Dream gets perturbed because they're not asking him questions about him, and he walks off. Has no one actually interviewed Aleister yet? I'm sure he's out of his coma. I'm sure he could probably give some sort of detail as to who attacked him. This better have a good payoff. They interview these street profits who just came from the basketball court. The camera girl reminds them that they lost their last match because the mighty stole their bling. Asks them why are they so concerned with their chains. They make some sort of veiled reference regarding slavery and chains and struggles. And Montez Ford is wearing a Bel Air Academy jersey. I think his wife probably made him wear that. As far as the charisma goes on this team, Montez Ford is Sean, and Angelo Dawkins is definitely Marty, and I hope a year from now when they break this team up, the two of them have a really fun feud. Speaking of, they run a quick video recap of Bianca Belair and Nikki Cross's brawl from last week. We get the debuting Umberto Carrillo. Carrillo? He's a small luchador, and he's taking on also the in-ring debut of Jackson Ryker representing the Forgotten Sons. They mentioned that Carrillo is the nephew of former, WCW cruiserweight Hector Garza. This was a very quick squash match. Carrillo attempted a springboard clothesline but gets a double axe handle right to the face. Ryker hits a slingshot powerbomb for the win. Impressive debut for a guy who has a nice look and I think lots of potential. The announce team continue to push the whole war veteran aspect of the Forgotten Sons, which is kind of confusing if you want to push them as heels. Regal and the lawyer are backstage interviewing more suspects, and they're interviewing Candice, and I love Candice. She's cute as a button, but she has to act, and she has what I am dubbing the Chris Benoit syndrome. Not that she murdered her family, but she is as terrible at acting as she is awesome in the ring. She tries to insinuate that Tommaso Ciampa did it. Regal says that he's already been cleared, and he asks where Johnny was during the attack. Now, if you go back and watch the video, Gargano and Regal passed each other in the doorway leading into the parking lot. So why is he asking her where Johnny is? This is poor investigating. Continuity, people. So they've been interviewing everyone over the course of the last few weeks. Regal and the lawyer are still obviously wearing the same clothes because this was probably all taped in one setting, and they must have been there for hours. And if you were a fan of the 90s, you probably remember the stories of some of the guys where they would have to spend hours and hours cutting promos in front of the green screen for all the local market house shows. They cut back to Pete Dunne and Ricochet both preparing for their main event, just gazing at their respective titles. They do a video recap montage of the story leading up to this particular main event. They made this seem so important. This was on par with the Mega Powers split. They do a quick plug for WWE Shop Zone. Would anybody ever wear a bright orange New Day Pancake Power t-shirt in public? If you're the one, I'd like to know. They do a video promo for Keith Lee. He's limitless, bask in his glory. Next week, we get Tommaso Ciampa versus Otis Dozovic. I can't wait for that. Main event time. There's over 30 minutes left in the show, so this segment is going to go long. We got Ricochet versus Pete Dunne, North American Champion versus WWE UK Champion. This was a fantastic story with a lot of underlying plot lines. Ricochet wanting to prove that he's more than just a high flyer and can mat wrestle. Him being frustrated by being out-wrestled by Dunn. The announce team putting over the importance of both titles. This match went almost 25 minutes. Most of the first couple of minutes was Dunn working over the left hand and fingers of Ricochet. Lots of finger joint manipulation. Lots of ground mat work between both guys. Ricochet working over Dunn's legs. Lots of submission spots. As the match progressed, there was a springboard 450 by Ricochet, which Dunn countered into a triangle, which then got countered into a deadlift brainbuster. What the hell? That was a fantastic spot. So, after about 25 minutes of solid action, the Undisputed Era run in, they attack both guys, causing the double DQ. This is not a tactic that NXT pulls out very often, and when they do, it's there to add a complex story with a much bigger payoff down the road. This match, if it had no interference, could have been a semi-main on any takeover event, and think of the ground that covers. War Raiders run down and clear the ring. So there's 4 guys in the ring, 4 members of Undisputed Era. So I would have hoped that they're setting up for the War Games match going 4-on-4. That would be my preference. But it looks like they're going to once again do the 3 teams of 3, which, if you think about it, you add Mustache Mountain with Dunn as a team, and that has some great possibilities. Unlike most run-in DQs, I didn't feel robbed like you would in most frustrating WWE main roster shows. Now, I was never expecting either guy to be a dual champion, and I don't think that I would have ever wanted that. This crowd also was not at all disappointed with the finish, because I think that they know these 2 guys are going to hook it up again down the road soon. So this episode was a one-match show, But that one match was absolutely awesome, and it led to a great progression in the storyline. So go ahead, check out the last half hour of this show. That's it for NXT this week. This coming weekend, Mike Poulin and I on the Angry Marks Rewind are going to be reviewing the 2001 WWF Insurrection pay-per-view. So that's all for me. I'm Rowan Unruh. We'll catch you in 7 days. Thanks a lot.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.